Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Featherhoof.
And I'm CarnagePanda.
And welcome back to another week of anime talk for summer of 2024. We've got some more Oshinokos, we've got some more Seducerizings, and we got some more Dear Friends. In fact, we're going to be doubling up on our Dear... Wait, no. Was it Dear Friends or Oshinoko we're doubling up on? I forgot.
It's Oshinoko that we're doubling up on this week because Featherhoof made me do random number generations because I didn't know how to decide myself. And he didn't want to do that because he's mean.
Well, I'm not mean. I'm just... My brain didn't want to do it because my brain is selfish.
Your brain... You're just mad because of all the troubleshooting we had to do before starting the stream. Or
I'm not mad.
Or whatever. I forgot that I don't stream anymore.
Because you're a fool. But yeah, we got some more animes. We're going to be watching them, and we hope you'll come along for the journey with us. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this party started. So here's our
Hold up, where is it?
Oh.
Where is it? Yes, there we go. One of these three was determined to disband the Deer Club. I disagree. There is a fourth secret member that's trying to disband the Deer Club, and that is Featherhoof himself.
No. You misunderstand. No, I don't want to dismember any Deer Clubs.
Dismember? What?
Disband. I don't want to disband any Deer Clubs or anything. I actually just want to dismember deer. Because then they will have legs to use to jump in front of my car.
This has gone very, very dark very fast. I did not see it going in this direction.
It's just like the beginning of this episode. This episode starts dark. We might as well start dark too.
It's not dark. She just wants to disband it. Then you're like, I just want to dismember them. Like, whoa.
They'll still be alive. I'll cauterize the wounds. They just won't have legs.
But that sounds like doing that to a horse. And would you do that to a horse?
No, because they don't jump out in front of my cars and cause me to have car repair bills. Deer do.
Okay, if a horse jumped in front of your car, you would not have car repair bills. I will just remind you of that.
Exactly. That's one of those things that will only happen once, and I won't care anymore because I won't be alive enough to care.
All right, so we're dismembering the deer now.
Yes.
Let's see how these poor deer girl fare after Featherhoof has dismembered them.
Now, my feelings for deer aside, that's a good club activity. I got to admit.
Freak! I couldn't sleep out in the sun like that. I'd have to do it in the shade.
I mean. You gotta give him some points for just being bluntly honest about it. But when a series calls itself out, I mean,
that's true. But this show is kind of self-aware, and they break the fourth wall, and there is no fourth wall in this show. It's just. But
I mean, I love when they showed the student council body. And it's like, one of these three is going to try and dismantle the Deer Club. And it's like, normal looking girl? Normal looking girl? This crazy demon looking girl? Who could it possibly be?
They said disband, not dismantle. Featherhoof has nothing but bad intent here.
What? I'm only going to take them apart. That's all.
I'm speechless here. He's just, how could he do this to these cute little girls? It's so mean of him.
Not to the girls, just the deer.
Oh, you mean the imaginary deer that keep popping up?
I don't know. The last episode had a deer that even Nokotan could see. So I mean, maybe they're real.
Sure they are. Speak of catastrophizing.
The imagine. Go back. Wait a minute. Was that the bike from Akira? No, it's just a motorcycle. Okay. Wait,
It
hold on.
it might be because he's kind of about to do that slide into that super famous slide that everybody copies now.
Yeah. No, okay, no, I looked it up. It is not. It is not. The first second, yeah, it's like you said, it was about to go into the slide. Like,
It's
wait a minute.
probably not the same bike, but maybe it's a reference to it.
Well, it is bright red. I mean,
You're just overreacting.
This chick's imagination is great. I mean, I like overreacting as much as the next person, but this person's what would you say? Overreacting is a bit over the top. But then again, this is.
I said that she's catastrophizing.
Yeah.
It's over for her. She'll never be able to overcome this.
Hooray!
He's so happy that bad things are happening to the Deer Club.
Well, okay, look, I'll be honest. I know they're about to throw 3 new characters at us, and I'm kind of hoping we only need to know 1, because at this point, we've already got 4 main characters, and I already have a hard enough time remembering all of them.
Just be like me. Don't remember them.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't... What was her name?
I don't know.
Wasn't she the one we said that was boring that messed up the last episode, though? Or was that a different girl?
I don't remember. She kept saying... You'd think we'd remember her name, seeing as she spoke in the third person all the time, but...
Maybe it was a different girl. Okay, I can't help it. I just have to say, because I was thinking of nothing but Office Space there. Excuse me, I think you have my stapler.
Okay, 2 things. 1, called it. And 2, her arms are so short.
What did you call?
That she was the bad guy. She's the one who wanted, they said one of these 3 were the ones who wanted to disband the Deer Club.
I mean, wasn't she in the center of the screen, though? So...
Yeah, she was. But also, I was wondering about her sleeves being so long, but now I'm wondering, why are her arms so short? Because if at the bend of the sleeves there, if that's where her hands are extending to, why are her arms so short?
I think she's just short to begin with.
Right.
And she bought an oversized jersey, which...
Cut the bottom half of it? What?
I don't know. Actually,
a lot of this character's design confuses me. I mean, I've seen short characters. We've done short. They've done the short characters with the long sleeves before in another anime, but this is okay.
No, I think if she put her.
Again, this is Nokotan's, and Nokotan's been insane. So
I think if she put her arms down, that her arms would be normal size. So it's probably just the jersey is oversized, and I don't know. They had a defect when they were sewing the sleeves together that day. And they're like, you know what? You're just going to have to deal with it. You know what?
Nope.
You know what? She was the first member of dismemberment, the first victim of dismemberment. That's what happened here. Featherhoof has already started his revenge. And
I plead the fifth.
What do you think this is? Some kind of America?
At the end, listen to the end. They go Shika, Shika, and there's a sound effect at the end. Is that not the sound effect of when like Mario does like his little butt stomp in Mario 64?
I have not played Mario 64, so I don't know.
Oh, ever? Oh, okay.
No, I didn't have an N64 when I was a kid. I only had a PlayStation, so I don't know anything about this. One friend let me borrow his N64, and I let him borrow my PlayStation, but he did not have Mario 64. I just ended up playing a lot of GoldenEye.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know anything about it. I never played. I never played Ocarina of Time. I never played. Aren't those like the only 3 games that you would get an N64 for? Oh, maybe Mario Kart.
Blast Corps. Blast Corps was awesome. Banjo-Kazooie. Star Fox 64. Come on, man.
Yeah, I kind of had a PlayStation and that's it, and then I kind of like didn't play video games for like a year or two, and then I got a PlayStation 2. So
Oh.
yeah, I don't know what he's talking about at all.
Someone send him an N64 and Super Mario 64. Send it to him now.
I could just look it up on YouTube, man.
No.
Be like,
We must force him to play it.
That's the sound, blah blah blah, or whatever.
Our stories passed down as urban legend until someone makes a really boring video about us.
Really boring video about us. Are they talking about us? Is this video really boring?
Oh my god. This show is so fourth wall breaking, it's breaking the fourth wall of our show.
Oh no. Does that
shit?
Oh, that's also shots fired, isn't it? We gotta step up our game.
Damn it! At least
sorry.
I'm
sorry, Chica. I didn't mean to make this so terrible.
Well, at least we know one thing, and that means at least we at least have one viewer. And that's the creators of this damn show. I want a refund on my feels.
I want a refund of my feels.
What the hell?
That seems like a way that I would translate that.
But
my feels.
I mean, I've played games and I've watched shows and movies and animes and whatnot where I get that. I understand that feeling, but I've never heard it put that way before.
I mean, you've wanted a refund of your feels for the entire time anyway, because you just wanted to dismember the girl. So I think
I can't get a refund because I didn't put any feels in.
You're invested in this already, so yes, you did.
Nuh-uh. That's my entire case, Your Honor. Just nuh-uh.
Oh, that was definitely a Mario sound.
Yeah, it was. Yes, that was Marshall.
Yeah, that was definitely a Mario sound, and judging by all the mushrooms she has, she should be really, really big. You know what? They should give the mushrooms to the cat girl because she needs them.
Oh, okay. I'm sitting here thinking the cat girl. What? Oh, the redhead. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, they give the mushrooms to the cat girl, and her shirt will fit right. Right?
Well, I don't know. I'm seeing some of the thin ones, the thin tall ones. Those ones would make Mario get all lanky and thin and shit.
Okay, but he'd be taller, right?
True.
So this should work on the cat girl.
Well, let's force them down her throat and find out.
That face, holy shit! How do you illegally grow mushrooms?
Ew.
I've never thought of putting mushrooms in rice.
As you shouldn't, because mushrooms are gross.
Mushrooms are great. You butter them up and you cook them and they make incredibly good stuffed mushrooms and stuff.
Blech. I don't know about you, but they're introducing a bunch of characters, and I don't know. Even in other comedies we've watched, it's like even when they introduce a bunch of characters, they still go out of the way to like show their significance to the show, or even in comedies with the plots as thin as they are because of comedies, they still introduce them to have some significance. This show just seems to be introducing characters just to introduce them. Because even with the characters they've already introduced outside of Koshitan and Nokotan, everyone's just sort of like there just to fill in the background. And I don't know if I'm getting the joke on this one, honestly.
I thought you would be okay with this, Mr. Slasher Flick. They're just introducing a bunch of characters so that you could brutally murder them like you set out at the beginning of the show. So I don't see what the issue is here.
I I wouldn't do that to them. They are human girls, and I would not do this.
Human girls. I'm saying that in air quotes. They're all animals.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They're less animals than deer.
Let's see. Shikanoko's a deer.
Yeah. She must die before she tries to kill my car.
The Tanuki girl is a Tanuki. She's Neko Yamada, so she's a cat.
Wait, who's a Tanuki?
The catastrophizing girl.
Wait, she's a Tanuki?
Yeah. So she has. So she has. As per the Tanuki legend, she has gigantic balls. So we've established that now. Is there anything else?
Well, there's her psycho sister who's a ninja. She's not an animal.
Let's see. I don't. So she's Koshi Onko. So I feel like that has to be a Naruto reference. Although Naruto had Shikamaru, so I don't. This new girl that showed up, I don't know what a Tsubame is. Is that actually an animal? Let me look up her name.
Was that the quiet one?
Yeah. Watch it just be like, yeah, this is going to be a normal Japanese surname or something. Oh, it has swallow / bird, which is a bird. So it has the character for that in her name.
Well, none of these other characters have proven to be detriments to my car, so I'm fine with them. I do not need to dismember them. They can live.
And then you have Toriko, which is Tiger Girl.
Again, tigers have never attacked my car.
Could you imagine you just driving down the road and then out of the fucking bushes this tiger just leaps out all action style and it's in slow motion too because it has to have the cinematic feel. I don't know, maybe put some lens flare on it and some extra bloom so that you can't see it at all. And yeah, that tiger is going to attack your car. Just put some chromatic aberration on it to make it an abomination.
I don't want to attack my car. I got enough things have attacked my car.
All right, so yeah, we've done another episodes of the Koshitan, and we'll get to the rest of this sometime another season, right?
Sure.
I was wondering if they would keep this line in, and they did, and that's like the greatest fucking thing about this guy. But it just seems so much more epic in the manga, and also they were not cowards and bleeped out the lines in the manga. So
I don't know. I'm just getting a thrill out of watching these characters. Like we got her mentor in the last episode, and then this was he the director?
This is the producer.
Yeah, the producer just sort of laying into her, into her. What would you call it? Like, I want not her naivete, but like her entitlement.
Yeah, so he's the producer. He's a step above the director.
Okay.
People make that mistake a lot. They think that the director is just the god of the production, and they're not. The director could be fired. For any reason, and with plays, I don't know what they call it over in Japan, but the person who is the god of the theater, so to speak, is called the stage manager, and well, that's just what the professor said. This person is God. You don't fucking offend them. If you offend them, you're fucked. It's called the stage manager, and yeah, you don't want to cross them because they're in charge. not sure if it's the same thing as a producer, but yeah, they're just in charge of the theater, and don't get on their bad side. Stay on their good side, because you could be parted from the project pretty easily if you do get on their bad side. But director is just like the how do you put it? Like in charge of the vision of the art of the play or movie or whatever. And it's their vision, but yeah, they're not the top dog. This guy's job is to pretty much get everybody together so that they can put this play together. That's why they're called the producer. There's a step above it called the executive producer. If you ever see that, the executive producer, the executive director or whatever, their role is to, do you know what they do, Featherhoof?
They execute producers.
He has his mind on a certain thing today. I don't know what to say about that, but no, if you see executive next to them, their job is to do nothing but sit there and get credit for doing nothing. So yeah, they're just like, I'm the CEO of the company, so I'm just getting credit.
I need to get in that gig. Shit.
Yeah, it's everybody else under them that actually does work. All right, but this guy wants to.
But I do gotta say, though, I know I said this. I might be a broken record at this point. I'm not sure. But I do love watching this show because it's like, there's so much about. Like, again, I would hope that the person who's writing this would probably know more than I ever will. Because this is a field, an area I'll never be a part of as much as I would want to be so. But it's interesting as hell to watch, and be like, it's basically, I almost feel like this is edutainment in a way. You know, it's just like, here's how stage plays works. Here's how the plays work. Here's how, what the relationships and and rights, artists' rights and owner rights, and all how this all works and stuff like that. Even if it's being produced or shown in a dramatic fashion, as it is, it's incredibly fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I think I went over that in previous episodes, but you're too old, man. You're just too old, and so am I. They want the young peoples, like the girls. They want the ingenue and everything like that. They need attractive people to sell it. So you're doubly fucked.
Fuck you. I can still hope to be a voice actor. I've often been said I have a face fit for radio, and I'm going to take that as a compliment.
I've never heard somebody say that to somebody, but you've got a face fit for radio. That's like saying you've got a face only a mother can love. Jeez, God, that's harsh.
Actually, I like the more harsh. You got a face only a mother could hate.
Okay. Moving on.
Well, no, think about it. If even your mother can't look past it, and you're just like, oh no, that's bad. I don't know, man. I'm kind of getting a kick out of this dude. He's basically, again, maybe if I'm misinterpreting it, I'm not sure, but it almost sounds like, he realizes, this whole thing is screwed as it is with the author exercising their owner rights and everything like that. So he's just like, you know what? At this point, I'm kind of in it for the dumpster fire.
Sure. I don't think he wants to turn it into a dumpster fire, though.
Well, no, because he was talking about, it's like in situations where they're doing this whole Discord thing to work out the things. He was talking again, unless I misinterpreted or the translator is doing something wonky. But I was reading it the way I was interpreting. He's like, he wouldn't advise this, what they're doing now, to make this work, because it often would just end up in the owner and the screenwriter just butting heads to the point of it just falling apart. But he's like, well, we're at the bottom as it is anyway, so let's fucking go.
He's got his YOLO strats going. I just wanted to comment on his gloves. Like, if it makes me feel like, because he's got these red gloves on, it makes me feel like he's about ready to go do some parkour, like in Mirror's Edge. He's doing that. That's his side. That's his side hustle. He's producer by day. He's what did they call them? The runners or something in Mirror's Edge and
something like that.
So yeah, he's just jumping off the top of buildings and everything. That's why he's got this whole fancy setup. I need to see what his shoes look like.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive. He has not died.
Good song. That was such a Mirror's Edge the Mirror's Edge had one of the most beautiful songs ever. I love that song.
Yeah, it is a good song. Moving on.
Maybe this is the pessimist in me. Maybe it's just I've watched too many shows. I don't know. But it's like, and again, I know you can't confirm or deny anything because, spoilers and you're caught up on the manga and everything. But this is so cheery and working out so well that I'm sitting here just like on the edge of my seat going, and when does it fall apart? When does this, like, all this effort turn out to be for nothing, and all of a sudden the place turns out to be trash, and it didn't work out well for any party. That's just that's the feeling I get right now.
I'm not gonna answer any of that. The only thing I'm gonna say about this arc is that this foreshadows things that happen later, and it's not necessarily talking about the characters that are on screen right there in immediate presence. But I have an alternative take on this scene. They're just screaming out cut, cut, cut. And since Featherhoof has been in this mindset and has been talking about dismembering people, and they're just sitting here going cut, 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 and they're laughing about it, going ah ha 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 ha, and having these faces, they're just going insane. So yes,
I said nothing about dismembering people, just deer.
He wants his venison. He wants it really bad. Also, they need to make another Blade movie now that I think about it. They keep talking about Blade, and I'm like, they need to make another Blade, but unfortunately, Wesley Snipes is too old, isn't he? He's like 50 or 60. It's just the thing that happens, your physical prowess goes away as you age. So,
well, clearly Wesley Snipes is not going to be able to play Blade anymore. Yes, but the problem is that we were supposed to have a Blade movie. I think 2 years ago, but it's gone through 5-6 directors at this point, and it keeps being.
Have they cast the actor for Blade?
I don't know,
because that's what I would want to know the most. But yeah, I think at this point Wesley Snipes is just out. No matter how much nostalgia you have, unless they're going to do old Blade in like some Metal Gear Solid 4 stuff where they have old Blade around, but that doesn't make any sense because he's a vampire, and that doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, apparently in 2019, Mahershala Ali was slated to take on the mantle of Blade in the new movie.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know who that is, but...
Well, we'll just have to see.
Apparently that was announced at Comic-Con 2019, so...
And it's 5 years later, so... Where's Blade?
Ask the other 4 or 5 directors that left the project. I call shenanigans! I call bullcrap! How could you possibly have premium coffee in a can? That is discount at best!
I don't know. I don't like coffee myself, so I wouldn't be drinking that.
Nothing from a can can be labeled premium.
Sure it can.
Well, I mean, they could. It'd be a lie, though.
I don't think I could hack it, huh? Yet another murderer in the cast.
I wonder if that's did they get a manga artist to draw that specific panel?
I don't know who drew this, but I would not be surprised if it's the character designer, because I think she's doing most of the work on this show. She's just that good.
Well, I'm just looking at it because it's clearly a different design than the guy sitting in the middle there.
Well, yeah,
it's far more detailed, far prettier, and it's just I love seeing the contrast of, because it's like manga art is, I think we've said this before, but manga art is usually just so much prettier, so much more detailed because they don't have to worry about frames and everything like that.
Well, it's just the background layer here, and it's just a still frame as well, so they don't have to throw out 300 different frames like they do with this guy, and it's not colored either. So
yeah, I know, but it's I don't know, it provides that stark contrast, and I like it.
I mean, it has more work, but also less work.
Yeah,
If that makes any
different.
sense.
It's different.
He's very close to doing a Gendo pose, by the way.
Almost. If he just brings those fingers up, and he bring those fingers up and the chin down, he got it.
But the only anime I think that would do that is Shikinoko.
Well, we still have several episodes left in the season. There's still time. Wow.
This guy's just over here laughing. He finds it all funny. He's
No, I just shit. No, that's that nervous, like Jesus Christ, like I don't know how to react laugh. That got stupid dark there. Even for my silliness throughout this episode.
Nope. It's all dismemberment. It's Freddy Krueger. That's what he's channeling over here. Don't let him deceive you.
I don't know. She was talking about the most common method they used to get child actors to cry is to ask them, how would you feel if your mother died? I always heard that they used to. I don't know if they still do, but I heard that they used to pinch like child actors. I don't know if that's true.
Really do it? I don't know.
Dude, a young child falls down and or bumps into a table. They go over the top with a cry. Doing that crying where their face does that struggling before sounds come out. I mean.
Oh my god! I bumped into a table. It's so terrible.
Yeah, I fell down. Shit.
I mean, the last time I bumped into a table was I was just laying on the ground. Well, I was laying on the floor, and I just got up and I hit my head on the corner of the coffee table, and that hurt like hell, man. Like,
oh yeah,
I was an adult at the time, so just to put that into context, that hurt like hell, and I was like, ow, that really hurts, man.
But a lot of times, at least with kids, it's not so much about the level of pain. It's the surprise of it.
Yeah, when you're getting dismembered by Featherhoof over here when you're a deer, it's going to be pretty surprising.
I hate you.
He hates me. You heard it here first.
You're starting to look awfully a lot like a deer all of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
Who is this motherfucker?
Let me just find a picture. It's him. So
him who?
Him. It's Aqua, but it's him before he became Aqua.
Oh, gotcha.
So no, this is not what I'm looking for. I need to be in my actual screenshot folder. And I will slip that in there so that you can see, even though he's just a shadow here. I mean, they show him in the opening here. I'm looking at it right now.
Well, I don't doubt it, but as somebody who's just coming into this show, without any with very little context for season 1, I don't, a lot of this hasn't really set into my brain as just being able to instantly recognize, you know what I mean? But yeah, I can see that now when you post that.
Do I have any pictures of him from season 1? Well, this is them right there. And that's before they both perished from your maniacal means and then got reincarnated. So yeah.
Damn,
I don't know.
Truck-kun.
I don't know if there's a better picture of him. but that has them both together.
Hmm.
No, I don't have a picture of him for whatever reason. I thought I did because I'm pretty sure I was thinking about making this stitch of this one scene from season one. I don't know if I can, if it has like a foreground moving on a background or something, but it was him thinking about all the idols and everything from his favorite group,
Hmm.
with him just going, "Yes, I totally love this." Well, I don't seem to be able to find this. So, oh, here it is. It's they're back to back right here. I wanted to make a scroll of this because I'm just gonna say this, but it seems to me like the author is actually retconning the story in the later arcs that aren't even going to be covered in the season. But yeah, that's him right there going, yeah, this is my favorite idol group. And there were seven of them, and his mother, which is on the left side there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he's retconning it. I think I'm not going to get into it, but yeah,
Who's this?
he's the director that took Aqua under his wing after I died, and since his mother's gone, he kind of like filled in as a father figure, even though he didn't need one because he was like 30 when he died. But since he wanted to get revengeance on his dad, he's like, yeah, this guy's connected to the industry, so I could use him.
Ah, gotcha. See, I was having fun with this show, but when it was just contextual upon itself. But when it was just all of this studio play arc, it's like, oh, this is how adaptations happen arc. Now they're starting to get context for. He's like, oh, we hope you watch season 1. I'm sitting here going like, I didn't do that. Now I'm confused.
Well, honestly, I think the murder mystery is the weakest part of the show, manga, whatever. It's pretty much just a vehicle to drive the plot forward. Like, oh, I need to go do this to find that, and this really goes into what I was saying in the previous scene about the author retconning it, because I was trying to look back on it to see if there was any foreshadowing for this to happen. So basically, what happens is that you get an FF. We're getting an FF9 ending where what happens at the end of FF9, right? You defeat Kuja, and then
yeah.
Boom! Who the fuck is this guy?
Really, FF9's only failing part.
Do you care if I spoil this for you? The FF9 part.
No, I don't mind.
So basically, what it feels like to me is that the author has just retconned the entire murder mystery to come in with this surprise FF9 ending. Or more accurately, as we'll get into later, the author liked Naruto so much that he just copied the ending to it as well.
No.
Which what happens in Naruto. Madara is the big bad, and he was totally he was being an awesome villain and everything, and then what the fuck is going on all of a sudden? So in those 2 pictures I sent you down there, they have these hairpins on them. So I went back because I reread the manga like 2 or 3 times because I was just looking for things to pick up on stuff that I'll talk about later in this season. But what happened is that Murder Mystery is basically getting a retcon, and I think this happens around chapter 109 because they start talking about pandas, and you can see it clearly right now, can't you? If you're looking at those pictures I sent in Discord.
Yeah.
So it turns out the person with the panda was behind it all, and is the real true villain. Only thing
I will say this: before you said it was a panda, I actually thought it was a skull.
You thought it was a skull?
Before the picture,
Well,
because
no.
I'm not looking at the picture fully blown up. I thought that was a skull.
No, it's a panda hairpin. So they all have different animals. In the manga, they do not have hairpins. Only one of the other girls, other than who has the bunny hairpin, has a hairpin, and it is a heart. So it really appears to me that he's like, oh, I could just take this in a different direction and have a surprise ending.
Well, all I know is I'm vastly disappointed because none of those girls wear a hairpin that's a horse. So, failed group.
It's a failed group because it doesn't have a horse. Your favorite character would probably be Kana because she has the character for horse in her name.
Hooray!
So, yeah, I spoiled the manga for everybody, but who gives a fuck? It's going to be a terrible ending, in my opinion.
Oh, God.
Just came out of nowhere. Yeah, there's a short story which is supplemental material to the manga and is only available in Japanese. You'd have to hunt down a translation for it. There is a translation for it in English, but you'd have to hunt it down, and it's just supplemental material, and it has some of the backstory for this person in there, but nobody thought about it at the time as actually being anything significant because it was just supplemental material. So take what you will out of that.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so yeah, back on my previous point about him retconning stuff. This makes no sense to me because all these folders here, one of them is actually a spoiler, and it has the name of their father in it. So this makes absolutely zero sense that this folder would be here. Unless
it's Forest, isn't it?
What?
It's Forest, isn't it?
Yes, it's Forest.
Yes! I'm so good at this.
It's actually pretty close to something in his name, but I'll get to that later. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be because they call this the Theater Namek arc. And you know what happens on Namek.
The Ginyu Force, yes.
But no, it's the Hikaru folder, and I don't know why they would have any information on this dude at this point in time because they're not supposed to. Some of this stuff in this manga doesn't make sense. Is why I'm saying that he's retconning it because they're just like, oh, he had this information a couple of years ago, but they didn't bring it up till now, and like they just. It's weird. Like I don't really like it, but I think they're using the anime to retcon a lot of this stuff. Which it's not the source, so whatever. But make of it what you will.
Okay, I will.
It could be River.
No, it's probably HDD_03.
I wonder what that means.
Hyper Dumb Dude, number 3.
Hyper Dumb Dude. If you say so. Oh, look, it's an onion. You love those so much.
I do, yes. Especially for making
You
burgers.
actually like... Wait. Go back.
What?
All right. Let's figure out how much of this that Featherhoof actually likes and would eat. Okay, how about that? How about the rice?
Yes.
I'm guessing this is tofu and beans.
No.
All right, how about the I guess that's cheese, carrots, green beans, and potatoes.
The cheese and the green beans? I'd eat those.
Wait, are those mushrooms? I think those are mushrooms. All right, I think this on the right side is tofu, green peppers, and I'm guessing those are scrambled eggs.
I'd do the scrambled eggs. I'd eat those.
I'm just guessing those are scrambled eggs. I don't know. Could be something else. Mashed potatoes? I don't know. Buttered mashed potatoes?
I'd eat that too.
All right, these are what, clams?
Are they? I have no idea what that is in the bottom right.
I think that oysters, clams, whatever. Yeah, oysters, right?
Some kind of oyster soup, maybe? I don't know. Broth?
All right,
No.
the green shit.
No.
What about this white ball?
Well, that might be mashed potatoes, and I'd eat that. And the noodles.
The noodles?
Yes.
Broccoli, right here.
You know, I haven't had broccoli since I was a kid. I remember liking it as a kid. I just haven't gone out of my way to try it as an adult. I don't know.
Your favorite, tomatoes. These are little cherry tomatoes.
Ew, no. Tomatoes, get them out of here. Raw tomatoes, fuck those things. They're gross. Tomatoes need to be prepared to be edible. People who just like,
what do you mean
tomato, they need to be cooked in some fashion, seasoned, something. Raw, just like, let's put 2 little cherry tomatoes on my thing. No, get that out of here.
So you would eat like fried green tomatoes, but you would not eat these cherry tomatoes.
Correct.
Okay, noted.
Meat and gravy. Let's go. Giddy up. Put it in my face.
Don't put it in his mouth. Just put it in his face.
Yes.
Smear it all over his face.
And then I'll have some for later.
He will have an even better face for radio. All right, so would you use the chopsticks though?
I've heard that it's disrespectful to play with your chopsticks, like to sit there and like try and to muck with them when you don't know what you're doing. So probably not.
All right, he's just gonna use his hands. He's like nom 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 nom.
No, I would break out my Swiss Army utensil.
Okay, his Swiss Army utensil that he keeps on him at all times, just in case he counters chopsticks.
Exactly.
He's prepared for all occasions.
Damn straight.
Okay, so
I'm not going to go in and offend the the Japanese person who made this delicious, well, somewhat delicious looking food for me.
That's a lot of food, actually. So I don't know.
Exactly. You know, they made all this food, and then they're gonna, it's like I'm gonna sit there and disrespect them by sitting there playing with my chopsticks, trying to figure out how to use the things. I ain't gonna do that. That would be rude.
All right, so we've spent enough time on the food preparation and everything.
Hey, we just came from PTSD and panic attacks to delicious, non-delicious breakfast. So I mean,
this is breakfast. Okay, that is a good look.
I don't know.
That is a good looking breakfast.
Hell yeah, breakfast of champions. Let's go. Okay, again, this is me showing my ignorance because I haven't seen season 1. How did he save her?
Well, you see, she was bullied by Twitter, and she was about to commit Sudoku, and by jumping off of a bridge, and then he's like there at the last minute because it had to be very dramatized.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah, he did save her. Now, I want to comment on this background. How close is that fucking couch to that TV?
Wow, you ain't kidding. Actually, where are the... Wait, how does that couch... Where's its legs? Where's the legs of the couch?
It looks like they're triangles, and it's sitting on those.
Oh boy. Okay, I can see what they were trying to do, but yeah, it's very flattened. It looks like it's...
I don't think the perspective is quite right on that. It's just... Why is the TV in the dining room anyway?
Well, why is the dining room table in the living room?
I guess I thought those were knives, but those look like bottles of wine actually.
Yes, those are wine bottle knives.
I thought they were knives at first. It looked like knife handles to me.
And you're making fun of me about dismembering, and you immediately see wine bottles as cutting utensils?
Yeah, you know, every time you watch some TV action show that has a bar fight, they always break the bottle, and then it's a cutting utensil.
No, that is a stabbing utensil.
Same thing. Same
No,
thing.
that is not the same thing.
Same goddamn thing.
That's gonna perforate, then no, they're not the same thing.
Does anybody ever do that when they get in a bar fight? They just take a bottle that they got from behind the counter and just break it to attack somebody. I feel like that doesn't happen. They probably already have knives on them or guns or something.
I saw something. I want to say it might have been MythBusters. I don't know. I saw something where they actually tried to how easy is it to make those beer bottle knife stabby things, and it was like stupid hard without like shredding your hand.
Well, yeah, of course, all that stuff you see is fake. Like when they're doing the defenestration scenes, they're using like sugar glass or something because it's way easier to break. And since it just collapses down, it's not a cutting hazard, because if you did that with real glass, you'd have real problems for your actors. You have to bundle them up in like 8 layers or something to send them through a glass window, and it's just easier. So I always figured that the busting the wine bottle or the beer bottle to get a weapon is just fake as fuck. But
yeah. It's like, possible, but like on the fly, if you were like, "Oh, improvised weapon, let me smash the beer bottle," and thing, it's like it can happen. It's possible, but it's like not,
all those.
But you would actually have a easier time just using the beer bottle at like solid to start smacking some fool around, because you would actually do more damage that way than trying to create a bottle knife.
It's like all those karate classes that try to wow customers in by like, oh, you could break boards or bricks or whatever, and then you find out, oh, there's just a trick to it, and it's not as hard as it looks. With the bricks, they just heat them up and cool them to make them more brittle, and
yep.
So the boards, you just hit them along the grain, and they snap in half with no problem. Also, yep. the type of wood that you use, so it's all theater, man.
Which then makes dumb impressionable kids like, I went to karate class. Watch me break this board with my forehead and knock their own asses out
with your forehead.
No, I've seen them do it. I've seen those too.
I have thoughts about using headbutts. It looks cool, but I don't think it's very practical.
I mean, it's one of those things like with kicks, they can be very powerful, but they leave you wide open. A headbutt, that's really like one of those like last resort things, isn't it? Like where it's like, well, I can't use my hands. My legs it would be ineffective in the situation, and I'm too close, so, well,
that is not an actual attack that I ever learned. They don't teach it. So when I was a teenager, and then in more in my adults, I took. It didn't have the one, because they really split off into 3 branches, and then a couple other branches. They all use the same kata. It all looks the same, but I took Shotokan and Shitoryu, which was more focused on the weapon side. But headbutts are not one of the things that are taught, and there were a few throws that they taught, which has mainly been spun off into judo, but no, I don't think anybody has ever used a headbutt in the history of ever to successfully win a fight.
Well, I doubt it would be the winning blow, no, but it might be a useful thing in an arsenal. Like I said, if someone's super up close and you have no means of using your other extremities, it might at least provide you with like staggering your opponent, possibly.
You could also stagger yourself.
Yes, anyway, but I mean, if it's a life or death situation and you need to throw out whatever you can, I mean.
Anyway, we're horribly off topic yet again.
And over time, so
let's just move on.
Maybe you can explain this to me. I've noticed that Unlike Aqua and his sister, they always have a little star in their eye, like one of their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed like sometimes like in the last episode, she had like the big old stars in her eyes. You know, the exact same kind of stars sometimes. But in these scenes, she doesn't.
Oh,
Is
you're
there like
talking the stars,
yeah,
the 6-pointed stars.
yeah.
I'll get into that later.
Okay.
It has to do with a lot of mythology and stuff, but it's pretty accepted at this point. I put a video out like a year and a half ago about that, and I'll just preface this by saying that I think that the Oshinoko fan community is pretty dumb, but I'm not going to try to start some kind of Twitter war. But was it last episode where I said that he liked to copy Naruto and wanted to copy the ending as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will get into this later in the season, but there's a whole bunch of mythology backdrop in this. It's not like I'm not going to say they are like gods or something, but it's what's the word for it? Crap. I'm not. It's not coming to me right now, but it's just like referencing that the Japanese mythology, and that's what the 6-pointed star is supposed to represent. But I will get into that more later because it's going to be more relevant at that point.
Okay.
Okay, so I find this fascinating because, you know, it's trying to take this psychological point, but she's been reincarnated and she died at like the age of 12 and now she's 16. So she has like the life experiences of a 28-year-old, even though she doesn't. She's been around for a while. What do you make of that? Because
well, here's the thing. The number of years you've been on the planet is less important than what you've experienced. And if she was only 12 when she died, well, first off, she has the experience of, you know, death, assuming she remembers that. Does she remember that?
The way it puts it is that she just went from one moment and then she was like, "Oh, I'm a baby now."
But she didn't have adult experiences. She had the experiences of up to a 12-year-old. And then she just relived them again. She, you know, unlike the Aqua, who, what do you say, he was like 32, I think you said? 30?
Something like that.
You know, he already went through adult life, which, regardless of the number of years you've been around, adult life is different than a 12-year-old's life.
Mm-hmm.
So the even though she's experienced 20, what do you say, 12, 16, 28 years of life, she's not had life experiences past of a 16-year-old, which she is now. So
okay, so yeah, I find this fascinating because obviously there is no scientific research on people who have gone through reincarnation and lived their life over again and stuff like that.
Right.
So I kind of like am like, can you really judge these people for their actions? Because in Aqua's case, he's dating a Kane right now, and she's 17, and you know, like you said, he had all that life experience. You know, he went through college, he went through medical school, he's a doctor, 30 something when he died. He was an idiot when he died. So, it's a really hard area to get into because, you know, we just don't have that knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah, it's weird. But then again, this show is weird. So
I mean, they do this all the time too in anime because they have the Buddhism is one of their stronger religions. It's Buddhism and Shinto. Like 70% of the people there identify with both religions. It's around that percentage. But Buddhism has a strong tradition, just like Hinduism, because it's an offshoot of that. You know, they have that whole reincarnation. They have a very strong lore system on it, and unfortunately, it doesn't work that way in the religions like it does in anime, where they just come back to life. Because there's so many anime where they're just reincarnated and they have their memories of their previous life, and they're starting in another world or in
if only
this
there
world.
was a genre for that or something. Huh.
And in the religions, it's just a new potential is born, so you don't have all of your memories and everything. And then it gets into this weird headspace with these animes. You have all these memories, so what can we say about that? We don't have any research to go off of that.
Well, here's also a thing to think about. If they didn't have their memories of their previous life, what would be the point of showing their previous life as part of the story? Because their previous life dictates their personality, who they are. If they don't have those memories to dictate that personality, then why even show it to begin with? Why not just create a character who's already in that world? That's part of the point of isekais and whatnot, is to show this person, as they grew up in Tokyo or in Japan in general, they now having to adapt to this world, despite the fact that now they're back reincarnated and now they're a child or whatever.
Yeah, and it's just my point is it's a difficult thing to say, because even if somebody came in there and it was like blah 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 reincarnated, blah, I have all these past life memories, people do say that. It's just not provable. So
right,
what can you really do with that?
You do what every fiction writer has ever done. You make it up. And hopefully you make it up in a way that is plausible and fun, entertaining for the reader or watcher to witness.
Oh yeah, now we have this large body of evidence on reincarnated psychology, so we're just going with that.
Sure, that's yeah.
But yeah, she seems like a different person here, because it's kind of like she's letting the mask slip a little bit, and pretty dark there. I mean, they're obviously visualizing that with the darkness of the star eye. So
true. I
guess we'll go on before I get off topic again and start talking about headbutts.
This anime was the tone all over the place in the manga as well. This thing goes all over, like super deadly serious to super informative and edutainment to silly comedy anime. Oh, look how silly they're being. And then, like, in the drop of a hat, it'll go right back to just like, we're talking about death now and blood. Is it like that in the manga as well?
Yeah, it's a little different, because from what I'm looking at, I think the storyboarding here is just a bit different from the manga. There have been some scenes cut and everything, but yeah, I do think you need some levity, because to counter out super dark and serious things, because if you don't have that, it like one of the things that I like watching right now, they used to go on these power scaling rants about who could beat Goku. And is anybody strong enough to beat Goku? And now all they do is who can bully Homelander the best. And I haven't really watched that show, but I get the general gist that Homelander's just a psychopath, and
yeah,
really,
I've watched it. Yeah,
really enjoys being an asshole to people, but. Do they have levity in that show? Because the videos that I've watched is this guy's just an asshole, and it looks pretty dark and not a good world to live in.
There is levity in it, but it's not levity like this, where like suddenly here in Oshinoko, like it suddenly jumps genres.
Mm-hmm.
In The Boys, there is like there'll be touching moments, there will be humorous moments, but they're all dark because the overall theme is dark. But they will have a moment where two characters can laugh together because, one made a silly comment or something like that. They're not prevalent. There's not a lot of them, but they're there.
Yeah, I'd like to contrast this with one of my favorite video game series because I don't think they do the comedy very well in that game, and that's the Xenosaga. I'm going through that right now. I'm playing through it. Okay. Very, very dark game, very dark story. And right. When they try to put comedy in there, it's just somebody's the butt of the joke, and it's most of the time it's Alan. And
I was just about to say,
he's just kind of the joke character, even though by the end of the story, he's not a joke character. So very, very mean spirited, and that it really, really, when it goes dark, it goes fucking dark. And which is like all the fucking time. And I like to.
You mean the idea of giant space bugs being able to turn people to pillars of salt, and evil organizations running in the background, and murder and death and dismemberment and explosions and deep psychological metaphors. Is
trauma. I like to bring this one up because I really like to compare and contrast Aqua and Ruby with Shion, because to me they seem like the same character. Revenge based and very dark, traumatized past. So
revenge based?
Yeah, that's the major they don't do it in the first two games. But the major plot point in the third one is once she finds out that her father was involved in all of this, she gets really pissed off and unhinged. And she really becomes like, I can't say that she's likable at all. And that's not a bad thing because by the end of it, she's just a raging jerk face. So, and that's kind of putting it lightly. I'll get there when I play it, but oh my god, what a train wreck she is.
I do remember some of the final cutscenes. Yeah, I can remember that.
But yeah.
But mostly I remember Xenosaga Episode 3 for the Cosmos Telos fights and the Weltel Id cameo fight.
Why not the soundtrack, man? That has one of the most amazing soundtracks in the history of ever.
Oh, I thought we were just talking about the story and the visuals.
Oh.
Yeah, the OSTs, yeah, they were great.
But yeah, I really like to do that. They're not going to get into it in this one that much, but when they do season 3 of this, they'll like, yeah, those guys, Aqua and Ruby, are not right.
Well, no, it's clear. It's clear now that they're not arc. Right.
They're going to go into their heavy Shion arc. So
okay.
Okay, so I did want to comment on this because I did look it up when I was going back over things. But yeah, they did change the sword that Kana's character is supposed to be using. It's just a normal katana in the manga. So whatever the fuck they're trying to say with this thing, because that just looks like a big butcher's cleaver.
Yeah.
With hearts on it. The fuck? I mean, you know what I said for the opening, but I'm just going to move on at this point.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Yet another episode down.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to see the darker sides of these characters. It feels like the edutainment part of the show is over and we're getting back to the plot.
Yeah. Well, it's still going to be entertainment. They go through the whole play, so that's going to be the next few episodes is us actually watching them do the play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you don't get just dropped out there. You still got these basically character arcs that they're going to go through for the characters, what they wanted to fulfill with this play. They're not just going to skip to the next scene. Oh, that was a really good play. Blah, blah, blah. That was a really bad play.
I've seen enough anime pull that crap off, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
No, that's why it's called the Theaternamic arc.
Okay.
All right. I don't really have much more to add. There's going to be more stuff in the upcoming episodes, and then probably a lot of stuff on the back end of the season that I'm going to have to get into.
Then I guess with that, 2 more episodes of Oshinoko down. We got 1 more episode to talk about this week, so let's say we jump on into it.
All right, so I'm supposed to be doing the episode review, so they're just marking things off. You saw like manga, the cosplay, the figurines, and here's a camera. I have a digital camera. I don't really think that I've ever used this lens cleaning stuff with it. That's a microfiber cloth, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever had to clean it. So yeah, maybe I'm just bad at this.
Or maybe he's doing something in front of that camera that needs cleaned off.
What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
I'm just saying.
Okay, so I just wanted to comment on this because they did it like a few episodes ago. Was it episode 3? I think it was. But the character designs and the aesthetic on the supposed anime characters, the anime within the anime, are definitely done different. And
well, that's what I was saying in the very first episode of this we did, because you were like, I don't know why they have 2 credited character designers or something like that.
I think you nailed it. I think you 100% nailed it. The sub-character designer is for this anime within the anime.
Because they go out of their way to make it look like an older style anime.
Yeah, so this looks like it's from the 80s or 90s, and just based on the shading work and everything. And in the episode 3 thing, it was in like 4:3, so that's not how things are done now. Like most anime is made in 720p, some made in 1080, but most of it's 720, which is a 16:9 aspect ratio. So if I was going to put this in a time period, I'd probably say the anime, the Ashford Chronicles, I'd probably say it's like late 90s, early 2000s. But
well, I think they gave us a year without giving us the year, and I have to go back and look at it. But they did give us a year without actually giving us one, because they were like, this takes, what was this? It was like it was like, they were like a Cosplay Con 20.
Yeah, so they give us that. So it kind of.
They were like, oh, Lilia, that was like 14 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, so they did give us the date of the event that they're at is in 2019. It's supposed to be taking place in 2019, but
19. Okay.
I've watched enough anime to know what time period things come from. So saying that if this was like 10 years old, it came out in 2009, I don't buy the argument that it would be 4:3 and done it like in a cel-shaded manner, because they were just coming out of the whole thing where like early 2000s, I want to say like 2003 to 2007-ish, anime just looks like shit. It looks like utter shit. There's no other way to put it. Like, just pull up Brain Powered is like 98 or 99, but it looks like shit.
There's more wrong with Brain Power than just the way it looks, though.
It just has this real 2003 to 2007 anime has the shit filter anime look. So that's my best way to describe it. They were having difficulties getting it into digital so that they could do the digital coloring and everything, and it just does not look that good.
But I mean, even into early, like, I still go back and I'll watch it, like, just to rewatch a few episodes of a show that I loved from like the early 2000s, and I'm still surprised. Like early 2000s, I'm still surprised to be like, oh shit, like this first 4 seasons of this show were still in 4:3 ratio. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Well, HD doesn't really come out till like 2005, 2006. So, but yeah, this looks cell shaded and everything. They've kind of got the CRT filter,
Yeah.
especially in episode 3 when they were doing the whole show thing. I and one other thing, the backgrounds in that looked a lot better than they look at the TV show. Now, I don't know anything about the enemies that Ashford is fighting. I just know that they are about to have a really bad time because this guy is coming in at them from the sky, and it looks like he's about to come in nuts first into their face. So these enemies are just not. They're not going to have a good time at all. And he grins too. If you saw that, he's like, "Yep, this is about to happen. It's over for these guys."
Yeah.
Oh, and you have, yeah. I'm doing this frame by frame, but that was some really smooth animation there. You get into like you could do it with very few frames, and it still looks pretty clean. This looks way more animated than most of the show, though. Like,
Very true.
They mostly just had talking scenes where they've kind of gotten away with it, and the places where they've used the smoothest animation have at points been questionable. They used it in episode 1, and I kind of criticized them for that, where he just kind of rolls around on the ground, and it's like, oh, he's getting like 12 frames per second or something.
But then again, seeing an opening to an animated show being way better than the show actually ends up being. I mean, I grew up through 80s Saturday morning cartoons. I watched Voltron, Thundercats, Transformers. Where it's like, wow, look at this beautiful animation. Holy crap, can't wait to watch this show. And you don't get that show.
They always put way more work into the opening.
Well, I think they actually outsourced the openings to different companies than the ones that actually made the show.
Well, the opening's only a minute and a half, so they don't have to put that much work into it. Like, you take the opening and ending out of a show, and it's only that takes 3 minutes out of the show's runtime. It's down to 21 minutes, but that's still way more than the opening and ending.
True, but I mean to point it out here in this show's opening seems almost a fallacy in that respect because of the fact that I'm so used to seeing shows be better animated in their openings than the rest of it.
I think I've seen very few shows where the opening is just garbage tier, and that does not bode well for the show ever.
True. Yeah,
it's like if you
that's
look
like
at
it's like when a video game comes out and there's no review available because they didn't give out review copies.
Yeah. if you're looking at the anime opening and the animation is very poor and like there's none of it and it's still frames, the show's probably going to be pretty yikes and stiff as well. All right, so we do. I need to get those feathers out of the way. I don't like how they changed the logo here. Well, they have a lot of it, but taking the camera out kind of sucks because that's taking one of the central themes out, which I think they're going to start knocking out in the next episode, maybe. I don't know how far they're going to get. I don't know if they're going to adapt the bonus chapters out of the manga, which would be interesting because that's where I think from this point on, that's where most of the nudity and stuff gets pushed to. Like there's still some in the manga itself, but it's mostly put in these bonus chapters, and you only get access to them if you buy the manga.
OnlyFans for manga. Let's go.
So
hide it behind the paywall.
And one of them I could say is definitely going to be needed to give some context for some later story developments, or it's just going to come out of left field. So I feel like that one would definitely get adapted, but I don't know about the rest of them. Now, of course, they've already skipped a bunch of stuff, so maybe they're going to put them in there just to fill runtime. unless they're gonna just put in a bunch of anime original stuff, which usually they do, but I don't think they're going to come up with that much content because they skipped a bunch out of chapters 2 and 3 and chopped out like chapter 9 or 10 or something. So they need to make up some stuff, but they should have left the camera as the decimal point just to be like, yeah, this has some photography in it. I don't like this change at all. And I don't think I have much more to say about the rest of the opening because there's not much more to say. Unlike with the Yoshinoko opening, that was probably the best one.
I don't think there's any deeper meanings that they portray in the opening. It's just a bunch of posing and showing the main characters.
They just introduced the characters here, and well, we're gonna watch it, but I don't think there's much more to add. Well, they had a cold open, so I can't judge off that. I do like the song though. It's over already. Well, that was a short episode.
Whew! Cross on her arm. If that was in Xenosaga, they'd have to take it out.
What? Oh, cross on her arm?
Cross. Yep.
Oh. You know the crosses are actually thematically important.
I know they are. And that's why I always call it out whenever I see Xenosaga 1 again. I'm like, oh look, all the crosses taken out.
So we just went from something that looked like just keyframes to something that was well animated, and you know what? I'm all for that. They need more animation in this show.
Yeah.
Not over animated. There's another show I'm watching. What's it called? Like, there's too many losing heroines, and sometimes you can over animate things, and you're like, what is this character really trying to say by doing all this gesticulating and stuff? Like, what the hell?
I don't know. I mean, I do a lot of talking with my hands.
That's really over dramatic and stuff, and I'm not sure what their body language is trying to translate. Of course, I don't have a camera here to show what I'm doing, so I'm just being a fool.
Well, I mean, how's that any different from any other day?
I knew you were going to say that.
Ha ha! I'm predictable. Is this the equivalent of, like, with our generation? Like, every man goes through a Sailor Moon phase. We all do.
What would be the equivalent? Nah, Monica's like over 10 years old, so there's no magical girls aren't really that popular anymore, so I don't know.
Well, seeing as they had to turn them, you talk about Monica, it's like it seems they had to switch the genre of them, so freaking hard, yeah. That clearly shows a desperation for the genre in and of itself that they had to make it popular again, they had to do that.
I don't know what would be a super popular female character these days. The only thing I could think of, Kaguya, maybe Kaguya, okay?
You would know better than me. Like I said, I'm a casual dabbler into the anime and manga scenes, so I don't get to see as much as you do.
What about something from 2014 that was 10 years ago? What would be a popular character? Well, there's Nisekoi, but nobody talks about Nisekoi anymore.
I think we just did this last week's episode. We looked through it in 2014.
I know we did this because we were talking about it last time, but Chudibyo. No, let's go to the next season. I need to see something. Okay, we have No Game, No Life. Okay, so the little girl in there, Shiro, but ew.
But
at the same time.
Like, oh no, there's yet another Fate stay. I mean, people go through a Lily Elf phase with
there's a Sword Art Online as well. So what's her face? Asuna.
Yeah. Asuna.
It's super popular though. We may not like it, but it's super popular.
Well, I still have a chip on my shoulder because of it being popular. Because it killed the show I actually liked from that creator.
Yeah, it killed the show, but yeah, that's all I have really is Sword Art Online, and that's probably the most comparable thing to this.
I don't know why, but I love the fact that obviously you and the audience can't hear it. Hopefully you watch this episode. I don't know what it is. What I picked up on when the voice actors doing these two characters, it's like, was their direction is like, hey, make them sound as pervy as possible. It's like, yeah, we can't leave now. We gotta go to her.
Yeah. Doing like some Beavis and Butthead there, channeling your inner Beavis and Butthead, which is probably the most apt thing to what you're saying.
Hey, baby, come to Butthead. Oh God! The logical conclusion of the spewing blood from your nose. That what was the other character from the previous episodes that really likes the main character?
Mikari.
Yeah, Mikari's. Yeah, she even points out the whole. I want to make him shoot blood from his nose. We've gone from there to spewing, cascading waterfalls of blood from the eyes. I don't. Is that a new thing? I've never seen that before. Is this a new exaggeration?
The only thing I could think of is Naruto when Sasuke was using his Mangekyo Sharingan, and it caused his eyes to bleed for whatever reason, whatever dumbass reason Kishimoto kept coming up with all the time about the Sharingan. Dude, but
with as many times as people
popped,
as many times the characters popped eyeballs in and out in that series, I'm surprised there wasn't more eye bleeding.
It doesn't make any sense, and I'm not even going to ask about it. We don't have eyeball surgery, so I don't know what the fuck he was smoking, so...
Ninjutsu.
I'm just... Yeah, it's just ninjutsu, like what I was talking about, the mudras back there. Those are just ninja shit.
Yep.
Yeah, he's crying blood. I think in the manga, it looks more like the Sharingan bleeding. They really went overboard on this. I'm just gonna say, even if I was a girl or a woman, I couldn't do this cosplay stuff. In this sort of context where like a bunch of people are just surrounding you with cameras and these flashes are going off all the time, that would really bother my eyes. And it has nothing to do with anything else.
See, for me, that's not really the issue for me. I'm just a super modest person. I would love to cosplay, like straight up. If I was a dude, if I am a dude, if I was a woman, doesn't matter. Like if I was still me, I would still like to cosplay. The reason why I never do is because it would be pointless, because I would do it for me. I'd be spending all this money on makeup and outfits and prosthetics and whatever else. I'd be like, yay, I did it! Well, time to take it off. I couldn't be out in public, like going to a con, even if it's a con that is for that thing. Going to a Trekkie con and getting dressed up as a Cardassian or a Ferengi or some shit. You're going to a Star Wars con and dressing up as Kit Fisto or something. I couldn't go to those things. Even more so, I couldn't go to those things because that's where you get the super. I don't want to use the word, but I'm going to. The super psycho fans where it's just like, well, time for me to go up to you, out of nowhere because even though you didn't ask for it, I'm going to come up to you and point out all the flaws with everything you've done here. I just, ugh.
I mean, the psycho fan existed before going to the convention anyway, so...
And that's why I said, like, I'm just too modest. I would do it in my house. I'm like, haha, I did it. This looks cool. Well, time to take it off,
Yeah, from my viewpoint, though, the camera flashes would be just too much for me to handle. Otherwise,
I've been working in my studio with studio lights and stuff like that so long that I've gotten to the point where it's just like I've learned to like how to focus on something so the light itself doesn't actually bother my eyes.
Well, I had to learn to focus on that when I was learning how to drive as well, because when I was a lot younger, I have blue eyes, so they really don't mesh well with bright light. So headlights at night was not a good idea, and I had to learn how to drive, by focusing elsewhere. And now I've pretty much got it covered and everything. But light just does not work well with my eyes. Very bright lights, that is. It's actually painful. So
I get that.
Otherwise, I do that. Like back when I still used to watch pro wrestling. I don't think I have since like 2003 or 4, but like one of my mom's friends was over there, and she's like, "Yeah, if I had the body of one of those women, I'd definitely show it off." But I get that and everything, but the bright lights from all the cameras would kill me. I'd be like in agony.
So what you're saying is that you're to go off the themes of the last anime with reincarnation, you are a reincarnated Mogwai.
Am I?
Apparently.
Are they vulnerable to light?
That's what killed. Yes, that's what killed.
Or was it just the gremlins?
No, it was Mogwais too.
Oh, okay.
Remember the one kid tries to take a picture of him, and then the flash like hurts him really badly, and
that's another one of those movies I haven't watched in a long time, so it's not fresh in my memory. Featherhoof is so much better with these movie references than me.
I am a repository of all unnecessary knowledge and references. But you ask me something that actually matters, like politics, history, math,
politics.
Science.
I know your politics. You're part of the anti-deer party.
That's not politics. That's a way of life. I was about to say, just like with the last episode, like, oh wow, this wholesome moment of the people coming, the other cosplayers coming together to help a fellow cosplayer. How sweet and wholesome that. It made my heart do the aw. I almost got this with these hyper pervs. I was like, okay, they're being polite. They even said, like, oh, it's her first time. It's she hasn't got her posing down right. We shouldn't judge her. I was like, oh yeah, I know. She'll get there. Then all of a sudden we get the true intentions come out right here, where it's like, oh, it's a great experience that makes her so much cuter. Oh man, their perviness is getting even more turned on. I love it. They're just they're so unabashed about it. They're actually screaming this to each other. It's something about it. It's just freaking hilarious in like the worst kind of way.
What he said or something.
And what was I not? Am I not making sense, or is it just too stupid?
You know what? I'm just gonna say that he came out and started spouting gibberish, and it was okay.
Oh, fuck you.
He was completely incoherent in his line of thoughts.
Was I? Oh.
I'm just making fun of you.
Fuck you. And now the next 6 episodes are going to be the characters coming back and dealing with their post-con depression. I don't know if you've ever been to a con. That's just what it always happens. They have to deal with 2 things: con crud and post-con depression. Always happens.
Wait, tell me more about the first one.
Being in a convention with a bunch of people and packed like sardines at a giant convention center, you pick up illnesses. Hence why people call it con cred.
I just thought you were gonna say, man, there are people that go there that don't take showers and stuff, and I'm like, okay.
There's that. There is that. Which actually may contribute to the con cred, but
maybe.
Completely off topic. I know. Well, actually, just tangentially on topic, I guess. Just, there was a time where Sydney and I were at a convention together, and there was just like, you smelled the dude from across the convention, man. And at first you think it's the room, and then he got closer, and you realized it's not the room.
Then he got closer.
He was just walking down the aisle, looking at down the artist's alley, looking at the different things for sale, and you realized it wasn't the room. It was that thing. It's like,
it was that a man.
Oh,
he smelled so bad.
So, I mean, I'm not breaking new grounds here. I'm not shedding light on something that no one's ever shed light on before. It is a thing. People are just like they're just so into the con, and sometimes you have to go to an overflow hotel because you can't get into the official con hotel, and apparently walking half a mile down the street to the convention center.
It's too much for people.
Too much. And it's just like, they're like, what's the point of showering when I get back? Because I'll just sweat again. What's the point? And it's just like, no, please. showering. Bring some Axe body spray or something, please. I'd rather choke on, the scent of Axe body spray than whatever funk that guy had. And he was not the only one.
It's getting out of control. Now there's 2 of them.
No, trust me. There's
more
a
them.
reason that's
they keep
that's
coming.
a
They're
stereotype.
multiplying. Like the gremlins from earlier.
Exactly.
Maybe they are gremlins. They can't get them wet or else they just multiply. That's the reason why, man.
And they're multiplying from the moisture from their own sweat glands. So yeah, now we get what's officially dubbed the post-con depression arc. So let's proceed. so wait, if they're not changed, they boot their asses out just in full cosplay.
I guess
that's funny thought. I don't know why. That's a convention about cosplaying, and it's just like, well, bitch, if you didn't plan properly, and you ain't changed by 5 o'clock, we're kicking your ass out. No matter what the hell you're wearing.
I mean, what if it's one of those places that have those security gates that they pull down so that they can't get it? Well, people can't break in, but if you get caught a bit behind that, you're kind of stuck in there until somebody comes and unlocks it.
At 5 p.m.?
Yes, at 5 p.m.
They've
got to lock these changing rooms, man. It's very important. There's a lot there's going to be a lot to steal in those empty rooms. This is to protect her from Featherhoof. I'm just saying it right now. Protection from Featherhoof. What?
What did I do?
Because she does a lot of animal-themed cosplay.
Oh, and just because I'm the resident furry of the group, that means I'm instantly going to be all pervy all over her.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, look right here down to the left. There's a rabbit right there. It's just broadcasting right there.
But what does rabbit have? I'm not into rabbits. Psh.
Is this like a skinned platypus over here? What the fuck? On the right side?
I see it. I don't know. I think it's just a platypus just being a platypus. AKA God's mistake.
Terrifying thing.
I love, Risa over here just hugging her tail. That's what's cracking me up right now. I don't know why, but that scene right there is just cute as fuck.
I mean, what about the girl on the left? She's pretty horny.
I don't know if we have any cosplayers in our audience right now, but if you are, or if you know one and you've heard a story from them, because they're telling these horror stories of what happens when they've accidentally left parts of their cosplay out, or they've, left parts of their cosplay on. They're telling horror stories. I want to know if people, I want to hear other people's horror stories of when they would cosplay. I want to know how many of those are true.
I mean, this is a real horror story though, because they're referencing. Is it called The Ring in Japan? I'm not sure.
It's like Ringu, So.
Ringu.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty close then. I think they changed the character's name in the American version, but her name's Sadako. But they're definitely referencing that right here. So we've got another reference to scratch off, and it looks like they are doing the bonus chapters because this is the Volume 2 bonus chapter. So, I only thought they were going to put one in, but they're putting this one in to make up for all the material they've cut, I guess. All right, so we found Waldo, the Waldo cosplay, as Featherhoof just pointed out before I paused it here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in later Where's Waldo books, didn't they have like the whole extended Waldo family and a Waldo dog and an evil Waldo?
Oh, you know what? I think they did. Evil Waldo.
And a wizard.
Did he have like a goatee or a mustache or something on, and that made him evil?
No, he was black and yellow, and he did have a mustache. Yeah,
he had a mustache. Okay,
he had the Snidely Whiplash, but instead of red and white, he was yellow and black.
That's the codifier that lets you know that someone is evil. But now that I think about it,
There was a
There
lady
was
Waldo, there was a dog, there was a wizard, and there was the evil Waldo. Or
there was
Oddlaw.
in the most recent season of Jujutsu Kaisen, they just added like a bunch of cosplayers there, and one of them was doing Waldo.
See, this is the thing I hear about in real life with younger girls who, I don't want to say younger girls, like younger women, like adult women, people of age, 18 plus, doing 18 plus work, you know what I mean? Being in porn and stuff like that. And then suddenly try to get jobs like being a teacher or anything, any kind of like public relation job. And suddenly like that stuff getting out where it's just like, yeah, 10 years ago, she was in a pornography. And they're like, oh, fuck, we gotta fire the fuck out of her. She's not, we can't have her as a teacher around our children because she did something like that 10 years ago. What the hell? It's like, that seems like a weird panic thing. That's kind of sucky that they do that to people who do stuff like that.
Featherhoof just casually spoiling the manga or show here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is one of the rougher parts of the show, and they're not gonna actually get to what the person like this is actually just foreshadowing it here, but they're not gonna get to it because that would be in like a theoretical season 2. But yeah, it's a rough section just to look at, but you know how society is.
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's I don't know. It's wrong to have the body of a woman, I guess.
I mean, some people have referred to me as prudish because I'm not a huge fan of the fan servicey stuff in anime. It doesn't do it for me, And in fact, it makes me cringe a lot of the times. But I mean, the way we treat, people who go into that line of work and is really disgusting, if I'm being honest. Like I said, like I've just let, I think it was last year, I heard a couple of cases of like, a teacher getting just, all the college they went through, all the degrees they got, the teaching license, all for nothing. Because some douche also was like, oh look, they did porn once when they were 19. And now no parent wants them around their child anymore.
Well, parents could be weird like that. Like my older sister was that way, and I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Most of the time, and all of her kids are grown now, so it's a non-concern. But
yeah,
it was just like, and it's not an unfounded worry. I'm trying to think of the name of that one teacher from Arizona that did those sort of things, but
I mean that's not an isolated case either. And that is also a worry. That I get that.
Yeah,
but just to be like, oh, they did a porn, they shot a porn movie once when they were 19. Oh my God, ban them, get them out of the teaching program. Fuck them nine ways to Sunday. Because I remember a story years ago where a girl was found, like she was in college. She was ready to graduate with her teaching certificate. There was a picture of her showed up on social media of her having a drink out of, I think it was like a Mr. Goodbar cup at a party.
Mm-hmm.
They refused to give her teaching certificate. Because they said that, she was promoting underage drinking because she was at a party drinking some fluid out of a Mr. Goodbar cup.
Yeah, I've seen at least one acquaintance I know of just was like, yeah, I don't post anything on Facebook because he is a teacher, and he won't post anything on social media or anything because they really like to spy on you and stuff, and if you do anything out of line, it could cost you your job. So
exactly.
But that's the direction this show will be going in. Okay. It's going to be going into like, people aren't going to accept you for doing what you want to do. Like we got that flashback earlier in this episode where uh, Lilith was thinking about back on her mom being like, yeah, these manga that you're reading are just you can't be reading this. This is not good for a young lady to be reading, and you know she prefers that sort of thing. So don't I'm like don't really be that judgmental on somebody, but that's just not the way society works,
Yeah.
for better or worse or whatever.
So now that I've spoiled the rest of the show, I guess we could just end it right here. Okay, moving on.
Well, you didn't spoil everything.
Oh, okay. Well, let's keep going on then.
But yeah, I think they really make it like the adults in this show are a lot more responsible than they would be in any other show. Like if it was another ecchi show, they would just be adding the teacher to the harem, and because she's so hot and that's a hot fetish or whatever. But that's not the direction this goes in.
Ah.
So if you're counting on that, sorry to spoil that for you. It's not going to go there.
Yes, thank you, show. I mean, yeah, they talked circles around trying to pretend that they didn't actually like each other in a romantic fashion. Jesus.
Yeah, they really did. They're both pretty idiotic about this. They will get into this later, but
could it be said it's not necessarily idiotic? I mean, it's funny to say they're both idiots, and yeah, they are. But I mean, their mental issues are clearly putting up roadblocks to stop them from getting to the obvious conclusion.
Yeah, so I'm about to talk about this. So you've clearly got Okamura on the one hand, who has his trauma in the past dealing with women and everything, so he doesn't want to let her get close to him. And I'm just going to say that Lilith is a liar. Now, who do you think she's lying to, though?
The world.
The world. No, they'll get to it, but you swung and missed there. But I did throw the panel over there because I was looking for it while it's going on, because I already know the story and stuff, and I don't need to really pay that much attention. But that'll just illustrate how close you got to that.
Ah, I getcha. Yeah. Oh God, straight up, even his teacher. Oh. Woo. Well, tell you, hey, it's one of those things. It's pulling inspiration straight up. Don't they say like it works best when you pull from real life events or stuff like that, because it makes it more believable and whatnot.
I guess, but it's that was really tough to read, by the way.
Oh, I bet.
I don't have much more to add without spoiling the entire story.
Yeah, I think I got out what I needed to get out of this show, because these two are. I mean, the writing's on the wall. It is what it is, but it's
is the writing on the wall? Is it?
Yeah, but it's very faded and it's hard to read.
I don't know if the writing is that clear though.
That's what I just said.
But I'm working with things that you don't know.
Exactly. I mean, let's put it this way. I think I'm my perception is tainted by previous works of animes and movies and shows and whatnot. And clearly the author is hoping that the reader or watcher will fall into that mindset, because that's how it's presented. So I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm looking forward to that.
See, this isn't...
I like when my brain... I like those moments where it's just like, oh, you subverted my expectations. Whoa! I love that shit. I live for that shit. When you get to those, the same old, it's like, oh, look, main female protagonist, main male protagonist. Gee, I wonder if they end up at the end. Oh, look, they did. Snooze. It's... I look forward to the subversion expectations.
Okay, I get you there. I'd like to compare and contrast this to like a show/manga like To Love Ru, which is probably the most well-known ecchi show slash manga out there, which really, really goes into those tropes, like where they had in Love Hina, where they'd like open up the door and they'd be naked or whatever. And you just have
I haven't heard in forever.
You'd have the screaming protagonist that just screams at the top of his lungs, which I guess you have the screaming protagonist here, but it's because he's very passionate about stuff and not because he's just finding them naked all the time.
Yeah.
And there's titties being thrown in your face, and Tolov Ru's really bad about that because I don't think Rito actually has any dialogue. It's just incoherent screaming noises throughout the entire runtime, and it makes him really hard to even want to see. I think muting the show is one of the best things you can do, and just reading the subtitles, because that dude just takes it out of the. He really took me out of the show. I couldn't stand him. No actual fucking words came out of this dude's mouth, I don't think. It was just screaming all the time. Like, oh, I've gotten into this situation, I need to scream. So yeah, this is going to go in a different direction, a more mature direction, I guess I want to say.
Okay, all right. Hey, okay. I'll be honest with you. This out of all the anime you set up for me, it's like, hey, I want to watch these ones for Anime Talk Summer 2024, and you were really insistent on this one, and I had to cock my eyebrow. I was like, really? I'll be honest, you're kind of winning me over with it, because there is a lot. As much as I like to poke fun at the the pervy guys with the cameras, and the obviously tropes on this, and it's like, oh goodness, look at the this, that, and the other. There's some deepness there that it's very interesting to look at and examine.
So I think the biggest problems with this right now is that the intro content is not the strongest part of it, and this is one of those rare things that gets a lot better as it goes on.
Okay.
So they clearly knew what they were working with, because they gave this 24 episodes as opposed to the normal 11 to 13. And that's because most of the best stuff is going to be from like episodes 8 to 24.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate, because you do want to come out the gate with your strongest stuff, but it just gets better. And where was my other train of thought going? I hate it when this happens.
Well, I do see 2 train tracks there. One of them had to be the right one.
We're just jumping from one train track to the other. That's a disaster, isn't it?
Only if there's 2 trains.
Yeah, but I actually can't wait for it to get to the later material, because, like I said, it starts off like it's going to be one of those ecchi rom-coms. Oh, that has been misidentified and tagged on the anime sites as a rom-com / comedy ecchi, which you pretty much outline what those kinds of shows are like. You just have your titties thrown in your face and screaming protagonists, and the tropes, and the first boy and girl that show up are going to end up together. So it's never any surprise what happens in those shows.
Exactly. Yeah. But then again, not to hate on people who do like them. I mean, those people, when people get into that sort of stuff, they get into it because they know what to expect, and that's what they like.
You know what you're expecting.
It's like me with 80s action movies. I know they don't make them anymore because it's like, oh, it's a tired and worn trope. There's nothing except how it's going to work out. And it's like, but yeah, I still like them though because it's fun. You like what you like because of what it is.
And hopefully we'll be having more fun as we go on in the season.
And with that, we're going to end possibly the longest episode we've ever done. And we are going to say goodnight to all you folks. We'll be back for the next week of summer 2024. But if you enjoyed this one, please let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for the videos we've done. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Next time.